What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I am still Cray. I'm still here in the garage. Still haven't taken the Sportster apart yet, but that'll be coming. Good news, got the ST back. Just picked it up from Tucker Speed. Got the GP Softail monoshock, the GP +1 cartridge with the Thrash and Supply drop tree 1-inch lift, +2 overall lift. In this video, you'll see me get it from the shop, and we're gonna do a quick overview, first initial thoughts on the new ride, stance, suspension, what I like, what I don't like. Let's get to it.
What's going on, guys? Picked the bike up from Tucker Speed. Got GP suspension figured out. They had an issue with this top preload cap. The screw, for whatever reason, was threading down. Couldn't actually adjust the preload properly. It was threading into the cap. So Tony over at Tucker Speed had to get a new tool-in GP suspension, and basically it sort of reseats that preload screw back into the cap. Yeah, it was a quick fix. I just couldn't basically adjust my preload while that was going on. I'm loving the new ride stance on this thing. It's awesome. I've only ridden it a couple miles. Haven't really got to like test it. Suspension's a lot stiffer. I like it a lot. We're about to go up the canyon here. Give it a little rip, see how we like it. Right off the bat, you can tell the suspension's just a lot stiffer. You're still feeling all the bumps and stuff. It sort of bucks the bike a little bit, but it's not transferring any of that to you, the rider. Yeah, I like it a lot so far. This 2-inch lift is crazy. It feels like I'm like 2 feet higher in the air. I feel like I'm sitting on top of the world. I will say the extra 2 inches, it's quite a bit extra to get used to. She said, feeling like you're going to run out of tread and start hitting the floorboards, but it just keeps going. Suspension is a lot better than stock. It's very, very stiff. Stiffer than I expected it to be, and like I said, I'm by no means an expert. And it's just, I don't really know how to describe it without sounding crazy. Some of these bumps I would hit and it would just jar straight into my lower back, you know. And it doesn't necessarily do that. It's by no means smooth, you know. I have that FXR and I've ridden that. Then that thing is just soft, and it's soft in a good way. It's still, you know, it absorbs, and it's soft, and then it translates to not, you don't even really feel the bumps. The bike just sort of glides over them. But I guess that's more for comfort and not really for performance, if that makes sense. Where this being stiff, it's better suited for performance and cornering. And I had mine set up that way. I think I told GP I wanted, you know, I'm 6 foot tall. I weigh about 236. I was about 245 a couple months ago. So I'm right around there. I think I told him I weigh 240. I think I had it set up for aggressive riding. There was 3 things I selected, but casual touring was not one of them. So I think I got put with a stiffer setup, which is good. That's some of the riding that I do. I used to do a lot of touring on the Indian, you know, back when I lived in Memphis. I had to, you know, ride thousands of miles to get to all the cool shit. Out there, it's just straight and flat. Even if you just go to Northwest Arkansas, that was the closest thing I got up there by Fayetteville to doing any sort of fun riding on that bike. But now that I'm here, you know, this canyon is right outside my neighborhood. I don't really have to do the touring much anymore, and I've done some longer rides. You know, me and my buddy went to Moore Park to go check out the new thrashing shop back in April. We did that in a day. It was 808 miles. Bike did fine. I did fine. No complaints. You know, it'll tour, it'll cruise, but I didn't really set it out for comfort, since that's the lesser of the riding that I do these days. I would say that the rear suspension definitely feels stiffer than the front, as far as how much, you know, give it has. And I haven't adjusted anything on this. I didn't mess with preload, rebound. I haven't touched it. I was talking to Tony. You know, he does racing for the Bagger Racing League. He said the baseline is 10. and he said you go either to 0 or 20, and basically just told me to mess with it, which I probably will. Actually, if I'm being honest with you, I probably won't. Knowing me, I'll just run it like this, but for the sake of the channel, I probably will mess with it. Man, those new thrashing trees, though, woo, things are sick. They look way, I mean, I knew they were going to look good, but I wasn't expecting all that. Now it's just a bummer I got this bag blocking it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. The bag is handy, but damn, I would love to just look at that fucking triple tree all day. It's so clean. You know, it's kind of funny, my initial thoughts. I normally have to throw the bike around in these corners, and you don't anymore. I guess the extra ground clearance and ride height. Yeah, this corner in particular is, well, normally one that I go a little bit faster in, but yeah, that's crazy. Initial thoughts. Yeah, you don't have to do as much. It's kind of crazy. I thought for sure you'd still have to throw the bike around a lot, but it's like it's just so high up, it doesn't feel like it needs to lean as far. Or maybe it's, you know, it just gives you a lot more. I'd have to be going a lot faster to throw it around. I have a buddy that I think I mentioned in my first video that I rode to Four Corners with. He said that it gave him much more confidence to be able to throw the bike around, which I never had issues with that anyway. I came from that Indian Chieftain, and even before that I used to ride, as my buddy Jordan would say, geezer bikes. Well, I say that. That Sportster I had apes and forwards on it. That would be a geezer bike. But that was a 1200. That thing was ridiculous. The Lowrider ST, out the gate, already seemed like a high bike. Yeah, the ground clearance on it was just crazy. It was nothing like I had ever ridden on a cruiser bike before. So to me, I was throwing that thing around like it was nothing. I was scraping right off the get-go on it. And I have a couple other friends who, you know, come from Dynas and stuff like that, who they're still trying to get to know their Lowrider STs, be confident in cornering. And honestly, a good set of sticky tires, not the stock foot pegs, anything different. And I was feeling confident. I mean, scrapings never bother me much anyway, but I mean, scraping pegs, you know, you don't want to scrape exhaust or something like that. What are you doing, guy? I'm gonna go around you if that's okay. Oh, baby. You gotta let that 475 eat sometimes. I don't know if you know, these new M8s, they prefer higher RPMs, and usually this is about the RPM range I'm at when I'm riding. When I'm cruising, I'm above 3,000. I'll probably do a video over the bike as a whole and all the upgrades that I've done. But I'll touch on the 475. I put it in at just under 5,000 miles, and I'm at 15 now. I'm actually due for my 15,000 mile service. About 10,000 miles on the 475, and it's in between. If you have to do slow speed cornering, like canyons and stuff like that, if they're tight turns, single lane stuff, you know, and you're in that 30 mile an hour zone, like that's how tight the corners are, this cam is terrible for that. Terrible. Most of the riding I do around here is fine, but there's one down south, the Alpine Loop. It's real beautiful. And I do like riding it, but it's like I'm either in second gear at 4,000 RPM or I'm in third gear bogging the motor down. It's like there's no like sweet spot. Maybe I'll maybe this spring go out there and do a ride and kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. I guess I need to touch on the triple tree. I love the look of it. It's probably the fucking sickest thing on my bike. It makes me want to put more chrome on it. I do have a couple chrome pops here and there, but it's like, now that this is on here, it's like I need more. It's like the meme of Kylo Ren. He's like, more! That's what I need with chrome. I'd originally thought about doing my OG Moto tips as chrome. I still might do that. I don't want to overdo it, but this big pop right here, it sort of begs for more elsewhere. I'm now originally at the stock setup or stock tree setup with the thrashing bars. I had good and tight bushings on there. So I've now gone to a solid mount because they only have room for just a bolt. There is no room for a bushing in there. So it's a hard mount. I haven't noticed any crazy vibration or nothing, you know, discomfort that I don't like. No complaints from me. I had to get my neck bearings replaced. They were starting to get grooves in the races, I guess. And I guess when Tony does that, when he has them out, he typically will just replace them because it's cheap insurance. and I'm on board with that. It's probably something I would have done anyway. I'm really thankful for Tucker Speed, Tony and his shop, all those guys for basically presenting me with that opportunity. That's probably the raddest thing that could have happened. I typically don't take my stuff in for work, but I try to go to Tucker Speed any chance I get. They help me so much, you know, even if it's just questions or whatnot. I try and support them as much as they help me, even if I don't like anybody working on my bike. Like I said, I'm trying to learn, and y'all are going to learn with me. Well, we're coming out of this canyon here. I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I have no complaints, not one single freaking complaint about this suspension. I was really worried when I sat on the bike at first, because it's stiff. It feels stiff, but after taking that one little corner up there, and granted, I'm sure that's not going to be the case for every road, but it is. I would say it's confidence inspiring. In the corners, I did not have to throw this bike around near as much as I used to. And if you watch me on Instagram, that one corner I mentioned up there, I have a video of me leaning that bike over in a corner, doing about the same speed I was just now. And it's on my 360 video, but you can see my exhaust is damn near scraping the pavement in that video. And it didn't even feel like I was really leaning the bike over at all just now. So you've got that going for you if you do a bike lift. And then just, yeah, the suspension, the way it handled. Normally some of those corners and stuff, your back end starts to, you know, do this sort of wobble on you. And I didn't get any of that.
Well, there you have it. It's my initial thoughts on the Plus 2 setup on the Lowrider ST. The stance is absolutely killer. It's a little sketch if you are not anywhere flat, basically, to park this thing. Definitely might think about getting a kickstand block. I don't want one. I love the stance of this thing. This bike lean is sick. There's concerns for sure, especially if you live up the mountains like I do. There is just not a lot of flat spots, I mean, besides a parking lot. But if you're on a pass or a canyon you pull over to take pictures, I could see real legitimate concerns about this kickstand. Initial thoughts on the suspension, I love it. I don't have any complaints whatsoever. It's stiffer than I expected, but I asked for a stiff suspension. That's what I got. I've never had one before, so we're gonna run it. I love it, no complaints. Ride is smooth. Corners are much better, way better. I don't feel like I have to really like throw the bike around into these higher speed corners and worry about scraping. Not even a concern anymore. I appreciate you guys checking out the channel so much, and the response in the first video was way more than I expected. I cannot thank you guys enough. Hopefully you stick around for some more stuff. Vlogs are probably done, getting cold. I'm probably going to have to take a short break. I'd like to do weekly videos. That is the goal. That's what you got here, back to back. But the reality is I am this close to being done with school, and I'm mentally checked out. I need to finish it and just get it done with so I can concentrate more on this. And I do enjoy doing this. I'm excited about what's to come and all the projects that I got going. So I need to finish school. Bear with me. I may not have another video out for a couple weeks. Another topic to bring up, and it's not a big deal. My hamstring sort of runs right across here. If you're maneuvering the bike around like in a driveway or a parking garage, mine hits. It's not messing with it. It doesn't tweak it. It doesn't make it move. You're not, you know, touching the preload. It's not rubbing that way. It's just, it's there. It's rubbing against the back of your thigh. Is that happening to you guys? Anyone that has it? If you did the Plus 2, did you get a kickstand block? Let me know in the comments, please. I appreciate you guys checking out the channel. If you like what we're doing here, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. I'll get more content coming as soon as I can, and we'll see you on the next one.